Okay, well, it would appear that having switched the operations from the big PC, the supposed, unbelievable master controller of the universe computer, uh, to my little tiny Lenovo laptop, has resolved the driver issue. Not only with the Microsoft LifeCam, but also with the GoPro 8 Connect, meaning USB, which was problematic and has been since basically they released it. Anyway, the point is that it wasn't reliable enough. So that was the inspiration for moving to the laptop. And now that I moved to the laptop and I'm running OBS on the laptop, what we're looking at here is a three-camera layout. Top left, we have the Microsoft. No, sorry. Top left, we have the HDMI connected GoPro 4. On the bottom, or the right side of the screen, we have our GoPro 8 using USB connection. And bottom left, we have the Microsoft LifeCam wired USB connection. So there's the three-camera layout. And me called HD camera. So technically speaking, if the camera wasn't looking at me, it would be looking at another portion of the game table, certainly, and we'd have yet another view. As a matter of fact, as the camera is on that side of the table, that would be the opposing player's view. And if I tilted the camera down, you'd feel like you were sitting right there. But maybe someday somebody will create small enough servos, or there will be enough demand for it, that somebody will create small enough servos and actuators that will take a little webcam and make it go, pan tilt zoom. Until that happens, though, what you see is what you get. What you get is what you see. Yeah. Anyway, so we're getting ready to pick up the battle. The Roman Carthaginian forces, getting ready to put them away and packing up the rest of the stuff for Adepticon 2024. We could do a couple of more turns, but at this point, it's kind of academic, even when you look at the game table. It might be interesting to see how it transpires. So we will continue, I suppose, in this next turn. And, yeah, we'll see. Just thinking. Over here on the right, you can see that we have two more Carthaginian mounted skirmishers. Whatever happened to the other two mounted skirmishers? Were they destroyed? Or is that them? No. Where's the other mounted skirmisher? Strange. I guess they were destroyed. Oh, no. I was wrong. Those are not arriving. Those are the just moved off the area. These are the destroyed mounted skirmishers. The Roman skirmishers made short life of these guys. They completely wiped them out. So that's why they're off to the side. And that's too bad because, mounted skirmishers, and that is, again, there's a lesson learned there. The mounted skirmishers can perform a very important function. But in this case, a frontal assault on five other skirmishers proved to be too much for them. Especially with, it's hard to hit them, but they did. And whether or not the figures are shown sculpted, throwing javelins, we don't care. The fact is they waited until the opponent was close enough, which when it comes to skirmishers can be right up on them. You just can't, you can't, actually, no, that's not true. Skirmishers cannot contact, there you go. Skirmishers can't contact other skirmishers, but they can get right up on them. And skirmishers don't have to be pushed away from other skirmishers. There's no need for that. It's just that do they serve as a block? Yeah, they probably would. So skirmishers will block other skirmishers. They don't have to run away. I don't know. We'll think about that, but I think it's accurate. I think there's no reason for a skirmisher to run from another skirmisher. They would rather think, hey, we're better than you, and take them on. There were reports of skirmisher melees, but for the most part, they don't want to do that. It's exhausting, as you would imagine. So they wouldn't be any good for the rest of the battle, and their function is to be available. All right. So those mounted skirmishers are gone, leaving open the entire right flank of the Carthaginian forces to this skirmisher harassment, which will not be good. As a matter of fact, in the coming turn, they will definitely be, well, they still can't fire into a melee, but wherever there is a unit of the enemy not involved in melee, these guys will be picking on it. So how do you get rid of them? With other skirmishers. So, of which the Carthaginians have a line right here, so I will have to shift them over to occupy these guys and keep that flank secure. And as you know, the phalanx hasn't been involved yet, the elephants haven't been involved yet. They can certainly do that now, and besides, remember, when the elephants start to move across, these horses are not going to like it, and they're going to have to be pushed back, pushed away. How long does that continue? From all we could understand of the era, it continues for the whole thing. They absolutely will not tolerate the smell of elephants, so they would be useless against them. Is it possible you could just do a die roll to ensure, or to make it more like a random possibility that they could remain in the zone of the elephants? Maybe, but I would not want to be the lucky die roll thing where, oh yeah, look, my horses are fine with it now. So, I'd think and then you'd have to roll the next turn. Oh, now they're not fine with it, and then they run away. So, yeah, I think I'd rather just stick with it and say, yeah, they don't like elephants. Horses do not like elephants. They will simply run that way. You won't be able to control them. They don't necessarily have to be pushed away involuntarily, but they just have to maintain a distance. And what it means physically is that the rider would not be able to control his mount. The mount would be nervous and jumpy and not wanting to do it. It'll refuse. It'll be like, you're asking me to charge archer stakes. I'm not doing it. So that's what would happen to the horse. And that's why the only way he could control it is to back up, turn around and go that way, away from the elephant. And so is that going to continue for the entire war? No, because if those horses survive, they will get used to it, after a couple of days. And then maybe the Romans will think, we need some elephants. What smells like elephants? And then have the horses live around that smell, and maybe get used to it that way. I don't know. Maybe they did. But at any rate, it's the issue. Okay, so moving on. We'll come back and... let's see. We'll come back with that next turn. And I believe it is actually it's the same turn. The Romans are going to be activated.